Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing well today or night whenever you see this video. Alright, so this is going to be a general reading for fire sign Aries and for earth sign Taurus. So after the live, I will post timestamps for the people who just want to do one or the other, not necessarily both. And I will also be posting timestamps of after I've done the shuffling, in case some people don't want to see the shuffling for Taurus. All right. So anyway, when I say it's a general reading, it can be about lots of different things, but it could be about, as a couple of examples, friends, family, health, money, all forms of abundance, the good stuff, the bad stuff, and everything in between. All right. So we will get into that in just a moment here, Aries. I have pulled all of your cards ahead of time just to save some time. But what else was I going to say? And I've also, yes, taken a picture of your cards. So after the live, in case you want to see the cards more up close in detail all together, all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there in case you do want to see the photo. All right. And I'll take a picture after we do Tauruses as well. Okay. So what else did I want to say? Yes. Also, all readings are timeless. So that means, as an example, it could resonate for some people during the exact time frame from July 23rd to August 23rd. But for other people, it could be, further back in the past, or it could be further in the future. Okay. So since time is fluid and relative, it's just kind of there as a guideline. Okay. Use your own intuition as always, of course. Okay. Yes. Also, real quickly, because I forgot to mention this in the couple last videos, but even if you are, let's say, not a Aries sun sign, Aries moon sign, Aries rising, or even if you're not, any of those sun sign, moon sign, rising sign as well for Taurus, you might still find something here in these readings for you, since we all have all 12 zodiac signs throughout each individual of our birth charts. Okay, so you have Aries somewhere in your chart. All right. So there may be a message for you here as well, but if not, that's okay too. Never force it, right? Always feel free to check out your other placements, right? Your sun, your rising, and your moon. And I always tell people, if you haven't already, to get a free one online. Astrology Cafe is a really good one that I like to use. So even if you don't have your exact birth time, as long as you know where you were born and the city and all that, then you can still find out what your other placements are, right? So for an example, you could check where your Jupiter is for how you can make money. You can check your Venus for your love language and matters of love, right? So there's always so much to explore in those kind of things. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and clear the energy and kind of ground and get ready here for Aries. So if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out, whatever, just breathe normally, all right? But we're just kind of going to get into that zone and the vibration of Aries, all right? So here we go. Guys. So, yes, let me just move everything down a little bit here. And yeah, we can get started. All right. Okay. All right, so Aries. Let's go ahead real quickly and talk about your placement of the cards here, and also the time frames that it may involve, and then we'll call out the cards and go ahead and get into the reading here. Okay, I'm just trying to move them over a little bit so you can kind of roughly see like that there are at least 4 cards. Okay, All right, so we're going to use two different tarot decks, okay? So we're always going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck and how it corresponds to those cards that Spirit wants me to talk to you about with, okay? And then, of course, we have your confirmation tarot over here at the end that we'll talk about. And then this time, instead of oracle cards that I've been doing for a while, I found these old stones that I pulled out. So you have a stone that we'll get into at the very end as well here, Aries. All right. Okay, so we start off with your first card, and this could be energy around, right, July 23rd through July 31st, the end of July. And then the second card could be from around August 1st through August 9th. The third card could be from around August 10th through August 17th, as an example. And then the fourth card here could be from around August 18th through August 23rd, 24th. Right, okay. Again, nothing's set in stone, but we just kind of put those there for a guideline. All right, so let's go ahead and call out your cards here, Aries. We have the King of Wands in the right side up position. We have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position. We have the Eight of Swords in the right side up position. And we have the Ten of Wands in the right side up position. And we'll talk about the other ones in just a moment as we get to which card, again, Spirit wants me to talk to you about it with. But you've got, as far as, before I turn on the camera here, Aries, I was looking at your minor arcana and seeing which one was the most prevalent, right? So out of the cups, the wands, the pentacles, and the swords, right? How many is the majority of those, right? So actually yours split here, Aries. So it was a tie between, you had 3 wands cards and 3 swords cards, okay? And then you have 2 major arcanas, yeah, and 1 cup, okay? But anyway, so what does it mean when it's split between the wands and the swords? Well, it's pretty interesting and similar in certain ways, right? So why does this matter? Why are we talking about the minor arcana? Because it can be an underlying theme to your reading for some, okay? So the wands and the swords are both like a dual system, right? So both the wands and the swords can be used as a weapon or a tool, okay? So for the swords, right, you can cut back the branches to clear your path, or you can use the sword to go fishing or something, right? Same thing with the wands, right? You can use the wands because they're wood to build a house, or you can use it as a spear to also do hunting or something like that. So on that side, they're both kind of very similar. Now, on the other kind of side, wands do talk about our defense systems, right? So are my defenses too high? Are they too low? Or are they just right? Am I a victim? Am I a bully? Or am I kind of in a healthy place where I respond in a healthy, balanced way to, let's say, threats, okay? Then with the swords represent our intellect and our logical mind, our crown chakra, right? And air signs, right? So for this, I want to go back. For the wands, we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, right? You're in Aries, okay? And for the swords, we have air energy. So it would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, okay? But the swords are about our mental health, right? Our logical mind. So am I overthinking things, or am I not thinking enough about things, or am I kind of just more in the balance place or striving for that balance, okay? So that could be like some underlying kind of themes that could be going on here throughout your reading. But let's go ahead and, put that aside and get into it, okay? So Aries, we start off here with you as your first card. It's not your, sorry, one second. I always have the music on for the dogs and some of the commercials come through, so just turn it back down, turn it back up. Anyway, what was I starting to say? Yes, we have you in your energy in the first card here, Aries. It's not your official card, right? But the King of Wands, right, is Aries energy. So your first card, too, is energy from the recent past. It could be, or it could be like right now where we're at, right? Since I said we were towards the end of July, July 23rd through the 31st. But going back to that Aries energy, right? So this is a very entrepreneurial spirit. It is somebody who's a leader, right? when we think of your traditional Aries card, that would be the Emperor, right? This isn't the Emperor, but he's still a king, okay? He's still authority over others, right? He's got a responsibility to others, to his kingdom. People look up to him for advice and guidance, all these things. He's got a lot of support system around him, right? Because he's leaning back on his chair and his throne, and that represents his support system. So friends, family, mental health care worker, lovers, etc. All right. But what I was starting to say was this could be energy from the recent past here for some. So that could be a couple of days ago, a couple hours ago, months, weeks, years, etc. But it is, right, a very for momentum positive energy, okay? The King of Wands is somebody, he's not super old, right, but he does have some years on him. So, of course, he's worked really hard to get to the place where he's at, okay? And I'm just looking at the imagery of the card since it's kind of like a newer deck to me here. So I believe, yeah, they still put it in here. And most tarot decks with the King of Wands, they will have a lizard or a chameleon somewhere. So I thought it was going to be in the throne, but this time it's actually really small. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's in his clothing, his outfit. Well, I don't know what the hell you guys call that, right? So I don't know, it's very tiny to see there, okay? But so what does that matter, right? So the King of Wands, what he needs to even be even more successful, to continue with the abundance, the growth, the good health, the love, the creativity, the business, etc., he needs to remain flexible in some ways, right? And also to have that rebirth factor. So if you have a lizard or chameleon, chameleons can change their color to their environment to escape predators, right? And then with a lizard, if you cut off their tail or they get injured, it will grow back. So that's that rebirth, regrowth energy, okay? So, you know, when I talk about the other zodiac signs that are showing up here in your reading, let's do that really quickly right now before I get sidetracked, okay? And before we go back to where we were. But yes, so I said you have Aries energy here, you have Libra energy, you have Gemini energy, you have Sagittarius energy, you have more wands and more swords, right? So it's a and yeah, you don't have any pentacles here, which is interesting. It doesn't necessarily mean anything wrong or good. It's just something interesting to note, okay? And then also with your cups card that we'll talk about at the end, that could also be, it could be Scorpio energy or even Pisces, okay? So what did I say? Aries, Libra, Gemini, Sagittarius, Scorpio or Pisces. So you could be dealing with one of those signs, or the person that you are dealing with has a lot of those signs heavily in their own birth chart, or you do, or it has something to do with the environment. It could have something to do with timing wise, right? So you could be like last Aries season or next Aries season or this past, whatever it is, right? So I just like to call it out when I see it, but it doesn't necessarily have to resonate with you, okay? So where was it? We finished kind of talking about going back to your four cards, your four main cards here. The King of Wands in the right side up position, your first card. So let's keep moving forward here. So we leave from that Aries energy to now your second card, which could be the 1st of August through the 9th or so, right? We have Libra energy, the Queen of Swords in the right side up position here. Okay, and so the Queen of Swords, much like the King of Wands or anyone who's a king or queen, right, is they have a lot of support around them to make them who they are. They've had a lot of experience, right? But she's the Queen of Swords. So her sword is upright and it represents that mental clarity, the good mental health, okay? So she's not overthinking or underthinking. She's kind of just right. Now, with the Queen of Swords in the tarot, she can be kind of known as, you know, clear cut and calculating and kind of even like, let's say, a bitch, right? But what's interesting about the Queen of Swords is that she does have feelings, okay? She just doesn't show them to everybody, okay? Like a lot of political leaders or people in authority or power that they only have a time and a place and a select few people they may show their emotions to, because they're always kind of on the pedestal or on the stage, and they have to show or be a certain way, right? To have that respect and that authority still there, okay? So, yeah. Let's see what else we have here. So moving forward, like I said before, your first two cards, that first 2.5 to 3 weeks we were talking about, is really positive and looks pretty good here, and pretty balanced, right? Now, when we get to your third card, this is your only energetic blockage or gentle reminders, I like to call it, in your reading. But with that being said, though, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because I'll move it down like this. Spirit wanted me, move that up here, to talk about all 4 cards with just your third card. Okay, so there's quite a lot of things going on here, and they're not necessarily all bad, but there is it's just interesting when Spirit does that, okay? So what are these 4 cards down here? These are all past energies. That's the top and the bottom from each deck, okay? And they all want to be talked about here with your third card. So we'll kind of go in order here, okay? But let's start off with what is your third card. And I said this could be from around August 10th through the 17th or so, right? But we have the 8 of Swords in the right side up position. So here the swords are going down. So that represents the anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in the head, okay, the logical mind. And then, of course, the woman is tied up and bound and she can't see. So nobody wants to be controlled by their overthinking. No one wants to feel trapped. No one wants to feel like they can't think things clearly or through the right way when they have that going on, okay? So let's kind of break down, possibly why this card came out the way that it did here, Aries. So we'll start with these 2 first, okay? And this is, again, past energy along with the current, present, future energy possibilities, all right? So over here we have, what's on the top of your deck is the Fool in the right side up position, Gemini and Sagittarius energy, but more Gemini, we'll say, okay? And then over here we have the 7 of Wands in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck, okay? And Wands energy is, again, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, right? Fire sign energy. But it looks like possibly the reason why this 8 of Swords is showing up here in this right side up position in the future, current, present energies is because in the past, somebody possibly, trying to think of the right way to say it. Somebody in the past, possibly, whether it's you yourself here, Aries, or someone around you that you're dealing with or in your environment, wanted to make a leap of faith here, wanted to possibly risk looking foolish to themselves and to others to find a fresh start energy, right? But it didn't happen because it was blocked by somebody being too defensive, okay? When the 7 of Wands shows up, okay, this is somebody that is always in the fight or flight mode to always be on battle, right? So here you see this guy with his wands and he sees some soldiers coming up around the stones beneath him, and he's ready to defend himself, right? And to hit them with the wands. But what is interesting, or just to note, right, is that when the 7 of Wands shows up too here, lost the focus, there we go. When the 7 of Wands shows up here too, it's almost like, he's not on stable ground. He's got one foot on the ledge and the other foot is, he's on his toes here. So it's almost like the anxiety, worry, overthinking, making you feel trapped, or someone you're dealing with feel trapped, or multiple people, general environment situation feel trapped, is because that leap of faith maybe never happened, or was blocked, or was not well received, or just put on hold in general because somebody's defenses were too high. They were acting like, again, always in that fight or flight mode here, okay? Oh, sorry, that scared me. It was just my stone. Hopefully I didn't break it. Hold on, I don't think I did, but okay, it's all right. It's hematite. It's all good. I'm gonna put that over here. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, we just talked about the first two, the top and the bottom from the one deck with the Eight of Swords. Now let's go ahead and talk about what's on the top and the bottom of the other deck here, okay, along with that Eight of Swords. So these are again past energies all on the bottom here, going along to figure out why this Eight of Swords in the right side up position came out in the future, current, present energies. Okay, so here we have this past energy with the Five of Swords in the right side up position, which is on the top of your deck. And then we have the Temperance card in the reverse position, which was on the bottom of your deck. So we have Sagittarius energy here. Okay, but these are your two out of three of your swords cards are here, right? And so when we talk about this past energy, and we just focus on one card at a time, right? This is somebody perhaps competing with themselves and others not knowing when they've won, whether it's a person, you yourself, Aries, or another person, or just a general energy in the environment, right? So here we see this Japanese person that's holding, looks like three swords two swords in their hand, and then two in the bottom, three in the back, because 2 + 3 is 5, right? Okay. So he just had a battle with two people and he won. So they dropped their swords. That's what the deal was, right? They had to give up their weapons and they left. Okay. So he's picking up all these swords that he doesn't need. So it's really similar to what we just talked about. And they actually were next to each other on the table. Okay, they're both past energies, both super defensive. One's wands, one's swords, right? So yeah, so when you are over defensive, you're blocking your own abundance in certain ways. And abundance doesn't just have to be money, right? And wealth, it's whatever you want to manifest in your life. If this is about you, Aries, again, it could be another person, okay? But also what's interesting with this Five of Swords energy is what is needed, and we'll see, how it comes out with the rest of your reading, because it might have already processed and will be coming out, hopefully. But what is needed is more focus on the present moment. Okay, so this is again a past card energy, but this person in this Five of Swords card is focused too much on the past and too much on the future. So again, we're talking about it with the Eight of Swords. So that could be adding to the anxiety, worry, overthinking. Like, oh my God, this happened in the past. What's going to happen in the future, right? But if that person lets those defenses down with the Five of Swords and only takes one sword and focuses on just the here and now, then they can correct this energetic blockage and kind of move forward, okay? Now, just bringing it up with the Temperance card here, there's a lack of patience in the past here, Aries, okay, with whatever this Eight of Swords represents, right? So these two led to this energy, or could lead to this energy, right? And so what's needed is patience, okay? So if the Temperance card was in the right side up position, okay? So it's like, how do I get to the point here, Aries? How do you or the other person, general environment, situation, get to the place where you're not thinking about the past and you're not thinking about the future, but you're patient with yourself and others to focus more on the present moment and not feel so trapped and bound by not only what society may tell us, other people in your life, etc. Okay, so this is a lot going on here just with that one card, but it's your only energetic blockage or gentle reminder, as I like to also call them. Okay, so I don't want to stay too long there because we still have your fourth card here and your confirmation card, and then your little rune stone, whatever it is. Not a rune, it's just a stone. Okay. So moving on, let's go to your fourth card here because it's a nice breather. Okay, so when we get to this fourth card, it could be energy around August 18th through August 23rd or so. Okay, could be a little bit before, could be a little bit after, right? Nothing's exact, but you have the 10 of Wands in the right side up position, and that's like, thank God, right? Because you go, remember, from the Eight of Swords to now the Ten of Wands. Okay, so he is ready, this guy in the card, in the photo, whatever, drawing, illustration, right? He's ready to take a break. He's just went up this huge hill. He's got all these heavy wands on his back. And so he's going to put them down and he's going to go see his friends or family or have a meal, take a nap, whatever it is, right? So either way, it is movement and progress from going from being trapped and bound by logic, overthinking, too much logic, to now being like, let me take care of my health and let me make sure that my defenses are where they need to be. So yes, with this card, the defenses are where they need to be. Now, tens in the tarot do represent leveling up. It goes from 0 or 1 to 10. Okay, so here is 10 of Wands. So there could be some area here when we show up with the 10, we talk about endings and new beginnings, where you're going to level up in some area of your life or multiple areas of your life, or the other person is, or multiple people, general environment, right? But yeah, it looks like here too that it is, when we go just looking at the numerology side of it, it's like 8, right? It's a swords, okay? So they're not the same minor arcana. There's no 9, but then there's 10, okay? So it's almost like when we get to that 10 of Wands, we're missing the 9. So that could have been something where we focus on skill, determination, and focus. Let's say if it was 9 of Cups or wish fulfillment card, okay. But it doesn't matter. We don't need to necessarily see that 9 because we have the 10 here, okay. And again, we talk about wands, it could be Aries, Leo, fellow fire sign, Sagittarius, okay. So let's move on here to your Princess of Cups, which is your confirmation card. And this card is confirming all 4 of these cards that we just talked about, all 4.5 to 5 weeks or so, whatever it is, from July 23rd to August 23rd, okay? So we have your Only Cups card finally showing up here, is the Princess of Cups in the right side up position. This is Morgana. She is the kind of Celtic goddess of magic, right? Of witchcraft and herbal magic. So here we see her at night picking her herbs. Her cup is in the right side up position, and the cups in the tarot represent our emotions, just like the water behind her, okay? And so this is an energy of somebody who isn't necessarily leveled up all the way. They're not set in their ways in certain things. So when we start off, kind of, we'll look at it this way. Your first card was the King of Wands, and your very last confirmation card was the Princess of Cups. He had that chameleon, the lizard we talked about, the flexibility. She does have those things because she's younger, right? So you have the King and Queen energy here, 8 of Swords, 10 of Wands, right? All these leveling up endings and new beginnings, but then it kind of is confirmed by this Princess of Cups. So that fresh, young energy. And it can be a little bit with this card and energy of somebody doing something at, let's say, non-traditional career path, or doing something where they're not working during the day. I mean, I know a lot of people work at night, right? But it's not considered traditional, okay? But there's also Pisces energy here as well. I said Scorpio, but there's also Pisces, right? With the moon in the background. So she's leaving behind things in the past that might have not come out clearly, or gave her more anxiety, worry, overthinking around what was real and what was fake, right? So here she knows, okay? And she's open to learning more about herself and what goes in her cup. So again, what makes me emotionally fulfilled and happy and satisfied, and I want to drink my cup. What am I drinking? What am I ingesting? Okay, what's good for me? So all this energy comes from this card and kind of confirms all 4 of these other cards that we already talked about, all 4.5 weeks, okay? So with that Princess of Cups, I would say it would just be saying here for you, Aries, to, again, trust your emotions, right? Your heart chakra. Keep redefining what those boundaries and what the good and the bad and what you'll put up with and what you won't put up with for yourself, and also don't worry about doing things at a non-traditional time as long as, or in a non-traditional way, whatever it is, as long as it is good for you and benefits you, it doesn't hurt anybody else, right? But this is really good here, Aries. So I'm interested to see how, this will show up for you guys. But before you go, real quickly, because we're done with the tarot side, but your very last thing here, and it's so cute. Oops, I'm just knocking stuff over. So this is your stone, okay, for this time period or even beyond. So this set of stones I found again recently, and they're called the crone stones, okay? Sorry, the incense gets to me a little bit. So look at this, guys. Hopefully when the thing focuses. It's a little mermaid. Isn't that cute? Okay, so I've already pulled up what it says here about the mermaid. It's just a short little paragraph since I don't have these guys memorized, okay? So I'll try to sum it up because actually it looks like a couple paragraphs. So yeah, I'll just read the first and the last. How about we do that? All right, so here we go. And okay, hopefully you can see that mermaid there. All right, so it says, the first and easily recognizable daughter aspect of the myth is the mermaid. She represents your imagination, okay? Your doorway to the depths of the unconscious. When you receive her in a reading, understand that your wishfulness is being heard and she shares these wishes with you, okay? That's beautiful. It says mermaid imagery can be traced back to our aquatic cousins from where it is said all life has been evolved. At one point in our history, all life was parthenogenic. Parthenogenic? I think that's how you say it. Meaning all sea life gave birth to itself. Okay. I think of carcinogenic, which is like from incense and smoke, but it says parthenogenic. All right. Anyway, I'll have to look that up later. Okay, let's see what else it says. Okay, so yes, meaning all sea life gave birth to itself. This correlated with the virgin goddess as the life giver, like Mary or Gaia, i.e., as woman who can give birth without the male's sperm. Okay, so that's the first paragraph. We'll switch over to the last one. We don't have time for all that. And you can usually just kind of summarize it. Okay, so here we go. We still got the mermaid. So last part here says, this myth completes a myriad of possibilities. I can't say that word right now. This myth completes a list or lots of different possibilities for one who could tap the unknown of their subconscious mind. Okay. What is the greatest thing you have ever imagined? How far does your fantasy go? There is a fish within you squirming for breath, waiting for you to expand your boundaries of perception and imagination. You have stumbled upon your submerged princess, someone who is waiting to be remembered back into your daily life. She is waiting for you to tap her ocean of possibilities. Go ahead, make a wish, for she is the wish stone to call upon your hidden potential. So yeah, that's beautiful, and it's very positive, right? So the other parts I skipped over where they're just talking about different traditions that say that the mermaid and all the fish, the Jonah and the whale, there's like an Arabic version where I guess it's a female, and when Jonah goes inside the whale, she becomes pregnant and this and that. So it's also about the regenerative life force. And then you could talk about Aphrodite with the Greeks, and there's all sorts of things we could get into. But we'll just stick with that, the Little Mermaid there for you, Aries. So anyway, thank you so much as always for your likes and your views and your shares and your subscriptions. And they're all great free ways to support my channel here. So I really appreciate it. And when you do hit that like button, it lets me know that you are enjoying the content, of course, but also it helps the channel because I believe within the first couple of hours, the more likes that a video gets, then it's shared more with others. Okay, so again, it's just like a free way to kind of help if you feel like you want to. No, I'm not pressuring anybody. Okay, so no big deal. But yeah, that is your reading, your Aries. So we're gonna kind of switch over to Taurus here and see what's coming out for Taurus. All right, so let's put all these guys kind of randomly in here, and then we'll do a deeper shuffle in just a few moments. All right. And I forgot the music. I keep knocking things over today, but that's okay. Didn't seem like anything that was that super important. Put this little stone back in here, and then we'll pick one again for Taurus in a little bit here. Alrighty. So let me just check out what time it is. We're like at 35 minutes basically. All right, so I will do the timestamps after we're done with the live, of course. All right, so let's go ahead and clear our energy, the Aries energy that we were just going through, and switch over to Taurus, or sign Taurus. Okay, let's see, this incense here is almost done, I think. All right, so we're gonna do a little sound bell here to ground, to cleanse and clear. All right, so just be aware it is a little bit loud in case you're listening with headphones or you're sensitive to that. Okay, so it will just be for a moment though, and you can take it and just breathe, just chill out, just vibe. All right, here we go. All right. Okay. You still hear it just like a little bit. All right. Taurus. Earth sign Taurus, the bull. All right, so I will be putting two different timestamps. One for people who want to see the shuffling later, and for some people who don't want to see that or whatever. All right, so let's actually start with this one here. And all right. Spirit guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. What do they need to see? July 23rd through August 23rd, Taurus. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For July 23rd through August 23rd, Taurus. Huh? All right. Come back here. Messages for Taurus. Messages. These guys are slippery. All right. Earth sign Taurus, the bull for July 23rd to August 23rd. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration? 4 cards, please, Spirit. Messages for Taurus. Earth sign Taurus, the bull, July 23rd to August 23rd. Messages for Taurus. Earth sign Taurus, the bull. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Taurus. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. What do you need to see? to know? Earth sign, Taurus, the bull. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration? July 23rd through August 23rd. Okay. So let's see here how Spirit wants to receive these, which ones are right side up and which ones are reversed. Okay. And then we also, before we forget, we're going to take the top, and the bottom was already kind of sticky there. So we'll put those over here for a moment and figure out where these guys want to go first, okay? So you're seeing the top on the right side of position, represent the first here. So the star on the right side of position to represent the second. So you're seeing the Eight of Cups on the right side of position to represent the third tarot card for this Taurus reading. Spirits, give me a clear and definitive yes or no answer for the greater good of all may interact with this reading in any way. Spirits, do you want the Eight of Cups on the right side of position to represent the third tarot card for this Taurus reading? Okay, just making sure. Thank you, Spirits. Thank you for your wisdom, guidance, and advice given. Spirits, do you want the Nine of Wands in the reverse position here to represent the fourth tarot card for this Taurus reading? No. Spirits, do you want the Nine of Wands on the right side of position to represent the fourth tarot card for this Taurus reading? Okay, so they want it like that, so we'll just move over here for a moment, and then we'll find out and confirm with these guys too. Spirits, do you want the Magician in the reverse position here to represent what's on top of this? What is this deck called? The Druid Craft Tarot deck for this Taurus reading. Okay. And Spirits, do you want the Princess of Pentacles on the right side of position to represent what's on the bottom of this Druid Craft Tarot deck here for this Taurus reading? Okay. Spirits, do you want me to talk about the Magician in the right side of position and the Princess of Pentacles in the right side of position when I talk about the Eight of Cups in the right side of position? Spirits, do you want me to talk about the Magician in the reverse position and the Princess of Pentacles in the right side of position when I talk about the Nine of Wands in the right side of position? Okay, so they want them down here, so I'll just move them over. And then we'll just stop this for a moment and go to back to our other deck and get one as well here from this tarot deck too. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull, for July 23rd through August 23rd, Taurus. Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull, for July 23rd through August 23rd. One card, please, Spirits. What does Earth sign Taurus need to see, need to know for their highest vibration for July 23rd to August 23rd? Messages for Earth sign Taurus. What do they need to see? What do they need to know, Taurus? So funny. Spirits, do you want the Princess of Cups in the right side of position to represent the one and only tarot confirmation card for this Taurus reading? Okay. I'm laughing because it's the same card from last time, so we'll talk about that a little later. Okay, so now we're going to take the top, right, and of course the bottom as well. Okay. Spirits, do you want the Princess of Staves in the right side of position to represent what's on top of this ancestral path tarot for this Taurus reading? Spirits, do you want the Two of Wands in the right side of position to represent what's on the bottom of this ancestral path tarot deck for this Taurus reading? Spirits, do you want me to talk about the Princess of Staves in the right side of position and the Two of Staves in the right side of position when I talk about the Eight of Cups in the right side of position? Okay, so they want these to go here, and then this one to go with that one. Okay. So I do what they say. Just a messenger anyway. All right. So we have those. We're going to take a stone and then we'll take a quick picture and then we'll get started. Okay. So put all this over here. Here's messages for Earth Sun Taurus for July 23rd. Oh, that was fast. Huh. That was the same one I think somebody else got today. I can't remember now. It's the, well, I won't say it until the end, but I believe that's the same one. Let me confirm with Spirit too that they want this one. Okay. Okay, so they do want it, so I'll keep it. And then I pulled up the page so we can skip to that part a little bit later when we get there. So let me just take a quick photo so I don't forget, and then we get started. Okay. Okay, so it looks good. There's less glare when the sun is down, right? Since it's technically dark over here by me. All right, so now we finished the shuffling. We took the picture, all that. We're at 45 minutes or so. Okay, so I will put that in my notes for later. All right, so dear Taurus, let's get into your reading here. All right, so let's talk about the placements real quickly for the new people, right? Old people already kind of know the deal, right? But yeah, we are doing 4 main cards on the top here, all right? And then those 4 cards will correspond to the 4.5, 5-week time period that we're talking about for this reading, right? So from July 23rd through August 23rd, okay? And then, of course, we are going to be talking about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck here, since we're using 2 different tarot decks. And then at the very end, we will do your little stone there too, okay? So let's go ahead and see what we have here for you, Taurus. All right, so we do have, as far as other zodiac energies, we have Aquarius energy here very strongly. We also have Gemini, Sagittarius energy here as well. So what does that mean? That means you could be dealing with an Aquarius, Gemini, or Sagittarius, or it could be referring to a time frame. So Gemini season, right? Or what did I say? Aquarius season coming up, or Aquarius season from the past, Sagittarius season coming up, or Sagittarius season from the past. Or again, it's just a lot of energies that could be showing up in someone's birth chart, whether it's you or the other person, or it doesn't necessarily have to resonate at all, but I wanted to mention it beforehand, okay? Now let's figure out here real quickly also as well, what is the majority of your minor arcana to get even further insight and another underlining theme to your reading here as well. Okay, so let's see, we've got 1. Wow, you have 4 Wands cards. Okay, so it's probably Wands, but let's double check. Then you have 2 major arcanas, those don't count. And then you have 2 cups and 1 pentacle. Okay, so clearly it is the Wands, all right? So if you've seen me before, you might already know, or if you were at the last reading for Aries, right? But when we talk about Wands, we talk about our defense system. So are my defenses too high? Are my defenses too low? Am I being a bully, or am I being a victim? Where can I find the in-between where I'm in a healthy place with my defenses? But since we're talking about Wands and defenses, also our immune system can be, of course, a defense system from illnesses and stuff. So it could have some health connotations to it for some, but not everybody, right? So again, there can be the good Wands cards or the more energetic reminder, gentle reminder, energetic blockage Wands card. So we'll get into it more as we get into the reading, okay? So let's go ahead and call out your cards here and talk about a little bit of the time frame as well, right? So the first card, thing that we're talking about is the time frame from July 23rd through July 31st, to the end of the month of July that we're in now, right? And then your second card would be energy from around August 1st through August 9th. Your third card could be energy from around August 10th through August 17th. And your fourth card could be energy from around August 18th through August 23rd, 24th, right? And none of this is set in stone. It could always be a little bit before, a little bit after, right? We just have a general guideline, okay? So Taurus, you have the 10 of Wands in the right side up position, the Star in the right side up position, the 8 of Cups in the right side up position, and the 9 of Wands in the right side up position. And then we'll talk about the others when we get to those cards, okay? So yeah, really interesting things going on here. A little bit of similarity with Aries in some regard, but not completely, of course. There's completely separate readings, right? But we start off your reading here with the 10 of Wands, and they ended with that. So that's interesting, right? But anytime we start off with a 10, okay, or we end with a 10, it's all about endings and new beginnings, right? So we see this guy, he's at the top of the hill, he's worked really hard to get there. He's going to put those heavy wands down and take a break, eat something, see his friends, family, his lover, whatever, right? But he's like, I'm going to take a rest now. Things are about to change for the better, hopefully, right? So 10 in tarot is combination energy as well. It usually goes from 0 or 1 to 10, right? And so this is your first card, first energy. And this could also be energy from the recent past. Always when we start the reading off with the first card has more of that potential. So what is the recent past? It could be a couple of days ago, hours, weeks, months, years, etc. It could be this reading. Excuse me, this reading in general here, Taurus, could be about you. It could be about a person you're dealing with or multiple people you're dealing with, or it could just be about your general environment situation, right? But you're starting off pretty strong here, Taurus, and it's really nice to see, okay? So when we also talk about the end of the month, let's say, in the beginning of a new month, that is also there as well, since it's kind of where we're at now, right? When I'm filming this. So, this is really good. This is for momentum and progress, but it's like, again, on the precipice of being an ending and a new beginning, okay? Or leveling up in some area of your life maybe has already started to take place or will possibly soon, right? And again, if it's not about you, it could be about someone around you. Now we move from that beautiful 10 of Wands energy as your first card into your second card, which is the Star card, okay? This is Aquarius energy. So this is around, let's say, August 1st through August 9th here. All right, so we see this beautiful woman. She's got 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the ground. And then she is pouring water back into this lake or this pond, right? We see the Stonehenge behind her because this is a Celtic Druid deck, right? But it is about transmuting energy, and the water is our emotions, okay? So she's trying to process her emotions in a healthy way and get to know herself as well too, because she's shown naked here, right? So getting comfortable with herself and with her emotions. Again, you don't have to be a woman, right? It's just the metaphor of the card, okay? But also the Star card energy is about looking to the future, right? What am I going to be excited about? What can I look forward to? What is my hope, my inspiration, right? So we see the star really bright above her, and that's kind of the energy of the card here as well. So it looks like here, Taurus, with these endings and new beginnings that we talked about in the first card, to then move from that to the Star. It's like whatever this ending, new beginning is, it's going to bring this really hopeful energy here, inspired for the future energy here, okay? And of course, when we talk about Aquarius energy, it could be entrepreneurship energy. It could be really great for creativity and for artists, right? But it can translate into any area of your life, okay? So again, this is for momentum and progress, and that's really nice to see. Now, when we move forward here, Taurus, when we get to your third card, we have the Eight of Cups in the right side up position. And this could be from around August 10th through August 17th or so. But this is somebody needing to take a break, okay? So it's interesting. Normally, I would feel like the Eight of Cups would come before the Star, right? But for you, it kind of came after, right? And everything is, I do believe happens for a reason. So there's no correct or right way to do something. But I say that because this person is going off on their own to figure out more about their emotions. Okay, so this guy or woman, whoever it is, right? They got a cape on and they're going up here, but all the cups are in the right side of position. But it's like a halt of energy. So if we could say here, Taurus, that your first two cards are, well, one is like a medium-sized vibration to it. So it's movement, right? It's not super fast, but then the Star could be considered super fast energy, go, go, go. Then when we come to the Eight of Cups, it's like everything stops, right? Whether it's a good or bad thing. So somebody needs to figure out, again, what fulfills their cup. What am I ingesting? What do I want in my life? What makes me emotionally fulfilled and satisfied and complete? And vice versa for the other person or the environment, okay? Now let's see what's going on here as well, because we do have that new moon in the background. I wanted to check my astrology notes really quickly because I can't remember when that new moon. Okay, so interesting. Yes, we have the new moon in Leo on July 28th, and today is the 27th. So tomorrow from when I'm filming this, okay? So some of that new moon energy in Leo could definitely be here with the new moon. Then you also, the stone that you got talks about the new moon. So there could be something really happening here for you, Taurus, around this new moon. People always say that new moons are good for new beginnings, right? Because the moon is the smallest, it's like that C shape. So then it's going to be growing and culminating to the full moon energy. But I always say, do your manifestations, your meditations, your prayers whenever you feel called, right? There's no, again, set in stone time frame to do stuff, okay? But let's figure out maybe what is going on here and dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to close the window too because it'd be loud. One second. Okay. So, yes, we're talking about the Eight of Cups, all right? And also turn this music up a little bit. Not too loud. Okay. It's like a ball field. Okay, anyway, so we got the Eight of Cups. Why did this card potentially come out? Well, let's figure out. We're going to talk what's on the top and the bottom here of your deck, right, to get more information. So this is past energy, your sponsor cards that made it possible for this energy to show up, right? So we have the Princess of Staves in the right side up position and the Two of Staves in the right side up position on the bottom. So lots of wands. The staves and the wands are the same in this deck, okay? So we again have Sagittarius energy with this Princess of Staves, and then we also have, let's say, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius again with the other wands energy, okay? Doesn't necessarily matter, just calling it out, right? But what we see here is that in the past, in some way, some person, whether it's you yourself, Taurus, or an energy or someone you're dealing with, was learning to work on their confidence, was learning what they needed to do to level up in some area of their life. She's a princess, right? She wants to eventually become a queen. What we see next to her, this Egyptian woman, is the dog, right? So the dog represents loyalty. So with these changes that happened in the past in some way, or someone learning a new skill, wanting to, again, level up in some area of your life or their life, there was this loyal energy of their support system that wanted to help them work on their confidence and accomplish these things. Now, on the other side here, we have the Two of Staves in the right side up position. And this is, I call it the people watching card sometimes, because we just see the back of this Egyptian woman's head. We don't see her face at all because she's looking at the Nile River. Again, the water represents emotion. She's watching her emotions, trying to figure out, but she's watching other people's emotions as well. She's looking at the ships and where they go. And she says, okay, I heard from my friend's friend that they had a similar situation. How did they go about it, right? So it's doing that research, the people watching card, as I like to call it, okay? But she's trying to figure out what to do for her next move. So if we isolate just this card with the Eight of Cups, they're both like the energy has completely stopped to work on those things, to get rest, to take the time to find out what fulfills my cup, their cup, everybody's cup, right? How can I take the research and the advice from others before I make my next decision or move? Okay, so this is like an incubation time. And if you're familiar with tarot, it could be very similar to the Hermit card energy, right? So yeah, it just looks like a little bit of an energy of somebody trying to work something out and figure out what to do next, okay? But it is, I feel like, not a bad energy to be in, okay? A lot of people don't like the Eight of Cups, but I don't feel that way, okay? Because I just explained, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. All right, so let's move forward here, Taurus, to your fourth card here. And now this is the part that reminded me a little bit of the Aries reading, just briefly, because it is a defensive energy. Theirs was different, but we have the Nine of Wands here in the right side up position. So here we see this guy, he's wounded, right? His arm is hurt, and he's putting up all these wands to protect himself. So it is a defensive energy. It is somebody or an energy in general operating with the mindset that they always need to protect themselves. So they're overly defensive, overly protective, but they're also showing people that they're wounded, right? And so it's like nobody wants to be viewed as someone who's hurt or a victim or wounded, right? We always want to look strong, right? So there could be something going on here, Taurus. Maybe it's related to health for some, because we are talking about wands, right? To get the help that you need regarding your health, right? To get a second doctor's opinion if you've already gotten one, something like that, of course, right? Obviously, I'm not a doctor, and I always say, I usually just, don't even talk about that, the health stuff like that. But I encourage people to always get a second opinion, and to, of course, do the research, right? Find out how other people went about similar situations, even when it is regarding health, okay? Now back to this Nine of Wands energy, and this could be more towards the end of August, right? So we said it could be from around August 18th through August 23rd or so, a little bit before, a little bit after, right? But this is just this over defensive energy. It could happen here, Taurus, because it follows that Eight of Cups, that maybe somebody or an energy or multiple people didn't want you to take this break. And so that made you go into this mode, right? So you were like, I'm trying to figure a couple of things out here. And maybe somebody else was like, you're wounded. Why do you need to do that, right? Not for everybody, but an example. And then that made you mad, and that fiery energy came out perhaps. And you were like, I don't need you. I don't need your advice. I don't need da, right? Not for everybody, but for some, okay? But let's figure out why maybe this card came out the way it did, and then keep moving forward, because you still have some good stuff coming up, so not to worry too much here, Taurus, okay? So here we are talking about, let me do it this way. What is on the top and the bottom of your other deck here in relation to the Nine of Wands? So energy again from the past and more future current energies, possibilities. So these cards made this energy possible for this, okay? So here we have the Magician in the reverse position on the top of your deck, so Gemini, Sagittarius energy. And then we have the Princess of Pentacles in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck. Now, this little girl, as a side note, has been coming out in a couple of the readings lately, so that could have something to do with the astrology or something in the worldview, culture, right? Worldwide culture, everybody, right? So that's just kind of like an interesting side note here. But with this Magician in the reverse position, it looks like in the past in some way here, Taurus, somebody or some energy was not feeling like they could manifest what they want. They didn't feel like they had the right tools or resources around them. They didn't feel like they had the right support around them. They weren't feeling super confident at that point, whether it's you or another person. And so this could have led to, it's interesting because on one hand, right, it's this magician in reverse acted as a catalyst, okay, for then the Princess of Cups, or Pentacles, I'm sorry, the Princess of Pentacles to come out in the right side up position. So it's like, okay, so I don't feel like I have everything I need. I'm not feeling supported. I'm not feeling confident. What's going on with the resources, blah, blah, blah. And then with the Princess of Pentacles comes right out and she's like, okay, I got a little bit more money, a little bit more coin, a little bit more abundance, whatever it is I want to manifest in my life, right? And so how do I create more, but also how do I learn how to be a queen and eventually level up? So it's almost like Taurus here, these two cards, one's like in an energetic blockage situation and one is more positive. So here with the Nine of Wands, right, it's like he's wanting to heal in some ways, okay, with his arm bandage. He does have the bandage, right? But he's also still being too defensive. So it's like a little bit of the good and the bad. So, you know, I feel like here, Taurus, that what is needed is the ability to grow the abundance, right? So here again, see this little girl and she's holding this coin and there's the tree behind her. So that's the abundance and the growth, right? But like I said, this was showing up in a couple of other readings. So there could be something going on with the astrology. When we talk about pentacles, we do talk about earth energy, right? So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? Let me see what's going on. Back to my astrology notes. If there's anything as far as you know, earth sign energy placements coming up during that time. Well, this is past energy, so actually that wouldn't work. But it's interesting to look anyway, because this was in the past position. If it was more here, then I would be like, okay, it's upcoming astrology. But yeah. Well, I could look at last, let me see. Well, like, okay, as an example, last month we had the full moon in Capricorn, right? I said earth sign energy, okay? So could be, what did I say? My gosh, Taurus, because you're an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn. What else happened with Taurus recently, as far as the astrology? I don't see anything in particular here. Well, you know, Taurus, it's interesting. I mean, we do have the North Node for everybody here that is still in your sign, right? Or in the Taurus vibrational zodiac energy. Okay, so the North Node, of course, is about our dreams and our aspirations. The North Node is about what did we come on this planet to do, your life path. Okay, your South Node would be more karmic past lessons, that kind of thing. So it's, I don't know. I have to like meditate on this later when I've had more coffee or, you know, all that good stuff. Eating something as well, probably. Right, Taurus, you know what I'm talking about? But yeah, there is just something going on here that can be definitely easily overcome, right? So I feel like Taurus, if you find during this time frame, that last card, the Nine of Wands, that you're feeling overly defensive or wounded, or you don't want other people to view you that way, or it's about someone else you're dealing with, a general environment situation, to maybe draw on that Gemini energy, the Sagittarius energy, the Magician energy, How can I get more resources and feel like I have all the tools I need to succeed? How can I work on my confidence? How can I know that the universe, my spirit, my guardian angels, like have my back, okay? And as well as, people who have passed on in the spirit world, but also living humans that have your back, right? So that's just something I would think about. But let's move on because I know we still need to talk about your little stone here and also your confirmation card, okay? So you got, remember I said earlier, you got the same one as Aries, okay? So this is the Princess of Cups in the right side of position. And she's coming in here confirming all 4 cards at the top that we just talked about. So that 4.5, 5-week time period from July 23rd to August 23rd, okay? So here comes Morgana, the Celtic one goddesses of herbal magic and witchcraft. And here we see her at night and she's picking her herbs, right? The moon is behind her, Pisces energy, but she is just like this princess, right? You got oh shit, actually technically, excuse my French, technically Taurus, you have 3 princesses in your reading, okay? Remember, this is past energy, this is past energy, and this is future current possibilities, probabilities, energy. So lots of princesses, okay? So even if you're a guy or what have you, however you identify, doesn't matter. It is that energy, again, of wanting to become a queen eventually, but being open to learning new things. What fulfills my cup, what makes me emotionally happy, satisfied, all those things, vice versa to the other person. And embracing something here, Taurus, that could be considered unconventional, right? That's Morgana. She's picking her herbs at night. Most people work during the day, right? Some people work better at night, or they have jobs that are demanding of them to work at night, but it's just a metaphor. So how can I bring here, okay, also with Aquarius, right? Aquarius is non-conventional, rebellious energy. Aquarius, the Uranus ruler of Aquarius. I was trying to think of the right word, right? And so it's like, how can I be more rebellious in my way of letting my defenses down and healing parts of myself with that cup, with the water, okay, that need to be healed so I can move forward and not block my own abundance and be overly defensive or perceived as wounded, okay? So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and go seriously, all seriousness. Taurus, let's talk about your little stone here real quickly because I know we're going over time, but these things happen. Okay. Oh no, pages are falling out. That's all right. This thing is super old. Okay, so, okay, hold on. Where did this come from? I think it's like right here. Okay. So, Taurus, your poor reading was a little all over the place, but that's okay. Like I said, maybe we're trying to channel the Aquarius energy. Okay. So the stone that you got for this time period and beyond, Taurus, is the same one that someone else got today or yesterday. It's the new moon stone. Okay. Remember how we were talking about the new moon also in your 8 of Cups here, right? Hopefully they're both focused. They're both little moons. Okay. So let's see what it says here real quickly since I don't have these ones memorized. Oh, we lost the camera. It'll come back. Let's see. Maybe it'll focus on my stone. Come back. Focus on the stone. Over here. Okay. Well, maybe it doesn't want to. Maybe it doesn't like that one. Okay, I'm just going to start reading and hopefully it'll come back and focus. You don't really need to see me anyway, right? We're talking about your stone, the new moon. All right, so it says, natural cycles are the internal and external environments. They are energy cycles and bodily rhythms. They reflect nature's cycles to our own. The new moonstone radiates potential. The blossoming rose underneath the new moon signifies new possibilities, new opportunities, a rebirth of some kind. If you turn this stone or pick the stone, you may wish to embark on a new project come the next waxing moon, or on the onset of this. This stone reflects growth and development, making you feel new bouts of energy, new impulses you wish to act on. One word of advice here, just pace yourself, but embrace this new moon, new possibilities energy. So that's beautiful. I was going to say goodbye, but it's camera's trying to tell me it's the end of the night here. Come on, camera, focus. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for your energy, for your likes, for your shares, all those things. I really do appreciate that. Okay, so anytime you like the video in the first couple hours, it does tell it does tell YouTube to share it more with others. So it's another free way to help the channel grow and help me, because I am here doing this for free, right? And so I really appreciate that if you feel guided to like the video or to share it, or also to subscribe if you haven't yet already. It is free to all those things, right? So all you have to do is click on the bell icon in the bottom right to sign up if you already have your YouTube account and everything. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And I'm still like kind of mad at the camera. It's not. Come on, camera. Oh, did I get it? Almost. Come on, camera. You can do it. There we go. Let me just move like super slow. God, it worked. Okay. So anyway, guys, I think that's the end here for me. But thank you guys so much. Seriously. So yes, I will be coming back tomorrow with the last two signs for this series. So we'll be doing the Gemini Cancer tomorrow. All right. So anyway, you guys take care. Love and light. All right. Enjoy this time period. I'll see you later. All right. Bye.